The government has set its sights on New Zealand's work, health and safety culture, describing it as a sea of orange road cones. You can't argue with that. Workers, organisations and businesses spend a lot of time and money trying to comply with health and safety regulations and rules, yet we still have a high fatality rate. It remains high compared to countries like Australia and the United Kingdom. Some people complain that there's too much health and safety regulation, while others might point to our dismal stats and complain there's not enough. Workplace Relations and Safety Minister is Brooke van Velden. She says a substantial consultation on work, health and safety will begin today. And the Minister joins me. Brooke, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
Now, I've got FOMO because I believe you too, like it seems all of New Zealand, is at field days.
You're absolutely right. I've found a nice little quiet spot here at field days, but it has been packed. I love coming to field days. I think this is about my 8th year in a row that I've been. I know.
Nice.
It's just so good to see rural Kiwis out there in the community and really engaging.
Yeah.
I always have a wonderful time here at the ACT stand, but of course, you already said, I wasn't here just in my ACT capacity today, but also making an announcement on the health and safety reform that I'm hoping to do. So I've been in here in 2 capacities. It's been double trouble.
Double trouble for Brooke, yeah. Let's take a look at that, Brooke. So the Health and Safety at Work Act is almost 10 years old. And in the grand scheme of acts, and it's not really that old, but how has it become so convoluted and wound so tight in compliance, it seems?
Yeah, well, one of the common problems that I hear with health and safety from workers and from business owners is, yes, we've got this law, but how do we actually comply with it? There's so much uncertainty on where does the liability fall, how do we know that we're getting it right, and how can I be assured that I am actually following best practice? You see it time and time again with the classic example of road cones galore everywhere. And we see that across business as well. I hear from a number of people saying we file reams of paperwork. We're trying to make sure that we're doing everything possible. We're putting up posters to make sure people are healthy and safe. But can we be assured that we're actually doing enough to keep our workers safe? And so what I'm hoping to achieve with this reform is asking those really good questions. How much compliance is the right level of compliance? And how do we ensure it's actually minimising risk and harm rather than just being a tick box exercise?
But thank you, Brooke. Brooke is back with us, Brooke van Velden, the Workplace Relations and Safety Minister. Oh, technology, Brooke. I just, it's just... I thought maybe...
it sounds... it sounds like your internet router was looking for a Friday off.
Thought a tractor had run over a line or something down there at field days and we were all over. So look, let's very quickly, we did get a little bit out, but I just wanted to ask a few more questions. You are starting a nationwide tour. You were going around to talk to businesses, to workers, because you want to, once and for all have a substantial consultation on the Work Health and Safety Act. And we were talking about the fact it could be too convoluted, it could be wound tight in compliance. Now, you mentioned too about employers a bit confused because they have a legal obligation, correct, to comply with these regulations, and if they fail, they can face legal consequences, fines, penalties, or even criminal charges. So I gather you'll be looking into the consequences of not complying. Are they balanced and reasonable?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking into every part of the health and safety system because you're absolutely right. At the moment, people are liable for what they do in their work premises, as well as the directors of the company, and there are shared liability structures. And even just down here at field days today, I was talking to someone who's an owner of a company, and he said he wasn't actually sure how the liability even worked if there was an accident on his particular area of property. And, that's a huge concern because if something does go wrong, he could be liable and he doesn't know it. We need to make sure that the law is actually straightforward for people. But when we are asking people to comply, they know what they're needing to do to comply. But it's not just this high-level tick the boxes, fill out the paperwork. It's actually going to have an outcome where workers know that they can go home safely to their families at the end of the workday. And I think that's really what is at the heart of what I'm aiming to achieve.
Yeah.
We do want workers to be safe. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be well.
Of course.
But what is the compliance that will actually lead us to that better outcome?
A text has come in, Brooke, saying the issue that needs to be addressed is the industry, in quotation marks, that has grown up to support the current H&S legislation. It's an unchecked monster that needs feeding, and it has become a self-perpetuating problem business. Great subject matter. We are all sick to death of the road cone brigade. So, you got
well,
support,
they're not
Brooke.
wrong. They're not wrong. I mean, there was someone else I was talking to yesterday was saying, you see so much compliance, you see all these